One morning, the Fat Controller made an announcement. "A new engine has arrived on the island," he said. "His name is Neville. You must all make him feel welcome." "I wonder what this Neville will be like," Thomas said to Emily. "I hope he's as steamy like us," Emily replied. Later that day, Thomas had stopped at a signal when the signal man called down to him. "The bridge ahead is unsafe," he said. "It needs mending before any engines can cross it. You must go to the docks and collect some iron to repair the bridge." At the docks, Ari and Bert were with Neville, the new engine. Neville was a steamy, but he had a square body like a diesel. Ari and Bert were feeling naughty. "We'll help you shunt those trucks," they said. But they pushed Neville hard into the trucks. The diesels laughed. Neville looked sad. "It's not our fault if you're a silly steamy," oiled Bert, and they laughed even harder. When Thomas arrived at the docks, he thought he saw Ari and Bert laughing with Neville. "There's the new engine," Thomas thought. "He seems to be friends with the diesels. How strange." Thomas chuffed off to Knapford station. "We'd better be careful of that new engine," he warned James at the platform. "I saw him laughing with Ari and Bert at the docks." James was shocked. A steamy, friends with diesels? He chugged off to take on water. "That new engine Neville is best friends with the diesels," he puffed when Percy passed by. "He doesn't like steamies," Thomas told me. Later, Percy met Emily at a red signal. "Don't go near Neville, the new engine," he told her. "The diesels have told him to biff into steamies." James heard it from Thomas. When Thomas arrived at Crovan's gate, the Fat Controller was there. "I have a very important job for you," he boomed. "You must warn all the engines not to cross the bridge until it is repaired." Thomas felt proud. It was a really useful job. Then he heard a whistle. Someone was coming. He had to warn them. But when Thomas saw it was Neville, he forgot all about his important job. "He's pulling Annie and Clarabelle," Thomas sulked crossly. "They're my coaches, not his." "Hello," puffed Neville perkily. "I'm not talking to you," Thomas huffed. Neville was puzzled and sad. When Emily pulled in next to him, Neville gave her a big friendly smile. He hoped she would be nicer than Thomas. Emily wheeshed out steam. "It's no use trying to make friends with me," she said grandly. "I know you're going to biff into all the steamies, just like the diesels told you to." Neville didn't know why she was being so horrid to him. But the station master blew his whistle, and Neville had to chug sadly away. Then Emily saw Thomas. "Thanks for warning us about Neville," she said. "Percy told me what you told James." Thomas was very surprised. "I only said I saw Neville with the diesels," he cried. But before Emily could answer, Toby arrived. "Have you heard?" he puffed. "Salty saw Ari and Bert be horrible to Neville at the docks." So the diesels weren't Neville's friends at all. All of a sudden, Thomas remembered where Neville was going. "Oh, Neville's heading for the broken bridge," he cried. "I must stop him." Neville was speeding along. Suddenly he saw a barrier on the track. He slammed on his brakes, but it was too late. His front wheels went over the broken end of the bridge. Thomas came racing up and saw what had happened. He knew it was all his fault. Then he had an idea. He would pull Neville back. Thomas steamed slowly and carefully onto the bridge. He gently bumped Clarabelle, and Thomas's driver coupled Clarabelle to him. Thomas was very scared. Slowly and steadily he began to pull Neville back from the edge. The bridge creaked. Thomas had to hurry, and with one big puff he pulled Neville to safety. "Thanks," whistled Neville. "What a relief." "I should have warned you," puffed Thomas, "but I was too busy believing silly stories. I thought you didn't like steamies. Can you forgive me?" "Oh, yes," peeped Neville. "Let's be friends." Thomas gave Neville a long, happy peep, peep. From now on, he wanted to be the best friend Neville had ever had.